Hello, folks. Welcome to the first episode of the Stringer's Notebook podcast. I'm your host, Joel Huerto, editor and publisher of OneManFastBreak.net. Since this is the first episode, a quick intro about myself. I've been a member of the mainstream media for, more than 30 years. Started out as a sports stringer before becoming an editor at Yahoo News. So I built up a ton of basketball knowledge throughout my career, and I thought it'd be good to share that knowledge through my digital platform. But before you dive in, please hit like, share, subscribe, and feel free to drop in a comment or two. So, first topic I'd like to dive into on this first episode is the NBA greatest of all time debate, or the NBA GOAT debate. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to enter this discussion. I've been following basketball since the early 80s. I probably have seen every game Magic Johnson played. I've seen a lot of Michael Jordan games. I was there on Kobe Bryant's first ever game, professional basketball game, in 1996. It was Summer League at the Long Beach Pyramid. And I thought, that guy is going to be a superstar. And I've seen LeBron James grow into the player that he is today. Started following him when he was at St. Vincent St. Mary's. So I've seen my share of basketball greats, and all of them are phenomenal athletes. And we get into this gray area of who's the greatest of all time. My thoughts, this is just one man's opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Every pundit is entitled to their opinion. The NBA came out with their top 75 in 2021, but they didn't rank them. I thought it would be fun to rank them 1 through 75. So I wrote about my own version of the top 75 players of all time and posted it on my website, OneManFastBreak.net, and I ranked them 1 through 75. I had Michael Jordan, number 1, Kobe Bryant, number 2. I didn't have LeBron in my top 5. I had him at number 6. I had Kareem at 3. I had Bill Russell at 4, and Magic Johnson at 5. Now, again, like, the difference between 1 through 10 is minuscule. All of them are great. Like, if you had LeBron number 1, Magic 2, Kobe 3, I wouldn't have a problem with it, or in reverse order. But here's the thing. When comparing all-time greats, it's purely subjective. And my reasoning for having Jordan number 1 and Kobe, number 2, I have these benchmarks that I use to measure in the all-time GOAT debate. 1, individual accomplishments, which is MVPs, All-NBA honors, and stats. 2 is team success, more weighted on postseason and NBA titles. 3, head-to-head in the playoffs against other greats in their era. 4 is influence, and 5 is legacy. And I feel that both Jordan and Kobe build those 5 boxes. And when matched up with other greats, they get at least 3 out of the 5. When you look into the influence and the legacy and the head-to-head, Jordan and Kobe have an edge over LeBron. When we're talking Jordan's career, he is one of, the greatest of all time. 6-time champion, 5-time MVP, 6-time finals MVP. But I think what separated him was when he beat Magic in 91. That was a torch being passed. And it was like the crown that Magic held for so long. And Magic won that crown in the 80s as the best player in the 80s. Magic Johnson won 5 championships in the 80s, and he beat Larry Bird 2 out of 3 times in the NBA Finals. But when he played Michael Jordan, Jordan beat him in 91. That was the moment when MJ pretty much put a stamp in the league as, I'm the best. He's the best player. And he maintained that status throughout the entire decade and never relinquished it. He didn't give it up to Barkley. He didn't give it up to Patrick Ewing. He beat Karl Malone twice. He beat Clyde Drexler. And then when he retired the first time, he was still wearing the crown. So he never really technically gave it up. He never lost anybody. So, and then comes Kobe and Shaq. You have probably the 2 best 1-2 punch in the entire league, maybe in history. And just to show how devastating of a duo these 2 guys were, Shaq and Kobe, as a tandem, took a Laker team that had a lot of good role players, but not great, not all-time great. So they took that team, won 3 straight titles. They were the most dominant team of the first part of 2000. And then when Shaq left, Kobe took over and maintained his status as the best player. And that's the thing that I don't think people realize how good he was. I mean, he never got his due because LeBron came in 2003, immediately was anointed the king. If we're going by the GOAT measurement, Kobe never played LeBron, so we can't really measure the 2 of them head to head. But in Kobe's era, there was another guy who was also one of the all-time top 10, I think, in Tim Duncan. And Kobe Bryant against Tim Duncan, head to head, was 18-12 in the playoffs. Timmy swept Kobe and Shaq in 1999, but then Kobe returned the favor in 2001 with a resounding sweep, beating the Spurs in such a devastating fashion that it really changed the way the Spurs operated. Once Shaq and Kobe beat them in 2001, Greg Popovich knew he had to change his roster. He said, we can't beat these 2 guys. We can't beat Kobe and Shaq with the way we're currently constructed, which is the Twin Towers of David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So they brought in Tony Parker, brought in Manu Ginobili, and they signed Bruce Bowen with the idea to guard Kobe. And even with that, 2002, Kobe and the Lakers beat the Spurs again, 4-1 in the 2002 playoffs. Timmy finally got his revenge in 2003, ended the Laker dynasty in spectacular fashion. And they didn't meet again until 2008, and Kobe got Timmy again. Kobe beat the Spurs 4-1, 2008, on the way to the NBA Finals. And lost to KG, Kevin Garnett's team, the Boston Celtics, in 2008. But then he got KG back in 2010. And Kobe dynasty ended in 2011 when the Mavericks beat the Lakers. So now this is where I'm heading at with the head-to-head and team success. LeBron against Tim Duncan is 1-2 in the NBA Finals. Timmy swept LeBron in 2007. Not close at all. And then in 2013, it took a Ray Allen miracle 3-point shot to save that series for LeBron and the Miami Heat. And if it wasn't for Ray Allen, Tim Duncan would be undefeated against LeBron. Because the following year, in 2014, Timmy and the Spurs, Timmy well past his prime already, and he beat LeBron again with Kawhi Leonard, an older Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. Timmy has LeBron's number. So that right there is one of the biggest reasons why I have Kobe ahead of LeBron. LeBron James against Tim Duncan's teams in the playoffs is 5-11 and lost twice in the NBA Finals. So I think we need to be at least not dismissive of the head-to-head. Like, again, I wouldn't have a problem with having LeBron number one on anybody's list. I think he's a fantastic player. I mean, the individual accomplishments, the longevity, the 4 championships, the MVPs. He's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. But he's 4-6 in NBA Finals. And I'll bring in another guy in his era who he's pretty even with. I wouldn't say it's one-sided. I think Steph Curry should be in the debate, the NBA GOAT debate, because Steph and his Warriors have an edge in the postseason against LeBron's teams. And Steph won 3 of the 4 NBA Final Series against LeBron's teams. Now, Steph had Kevin Durant in 2 of those finals, in 2018 and 2017. But he beat LeBron in 2015, lost to LeBron in 2016, and won another one, not against LeBron. He beat the Boston Celtics in 2022. So he's got 4 titles, just as many as LeBron James. And you can argue Steph has just as big an influence in a game as LeBron. And here's my final analysis or final take on why I think Kobe has the edge over LeBron. Is legacy. Kobe Bryant legacy is secure. The Mamba mentality is firmly entrenched in today's NBA players. The vast majority of NBA. Kobe Bryant's legacy extends to today's superstar. We're now watching the generation of the Mamba influence. We're watching Jason Tatum. We're watching Trae Young, Giannis, and Devin Booker. Pretty much every single California player, from Kawhi Leonard to Russell Westbrook to James Harden to DeMar DeRozan to Paul George. All those guys are all Kobe guys, influenced by Kobe Bryant. Every part of the game was built around the Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. And I guarantee you, they were watching the Shaq Kobe teams in the early 2000s and saw that as the template. So the Kobe legacy is stronger at this moment than LeBron legacy.